Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit here back again with Hunter x Hunter. We are on episode 142, and in the last episode, we had quite the sort of action-packed episode, considering, it was essentially Killua and the crew in a limo versus Illumi, who was controlling different people going the opposite way down a road, down a mountain road as well. So it was a bit fucking dangerous. And a bunch of events led to Killua basically running away with Aluka. And now he's being sort of preyed upon by either Illumi or it's Tsubone, who was chasing after him at the time. So there's that going on. There's the election that is continuing on. It has now basically been, what am I saying? To the top 16, that's it. I feel like that will not go through. It'll be invalid again. And then it'll be halved into 8. So, biggest thing being that Leorio is now, very much like near the top of those votes. And I feel like Gene has something to do with that. I feel like he wanted Leorio to be in there. And I feel like that's the reason why he took the punch. But yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. We're just going to get into episode 142 and see what we get. So without further ado, let's go. Okay, episode 142. I mean, where the fuck? I mean, I guess that's it for Goto then. I just didn't. It was just it was like that, and it was over. That was it. Done. Dunzo. And I don't know how to feel about it. It's like. Because on one hand, it's like he's a cool guy. You know what I mean? Goto's a friggin' cool guy. But we haven't seen him all that much. We saw him for like, what? He had like maybe 1-2 episodes. Like really like of like, like really like valid screen time or whatever. But the thing is, like, he was just a cool fucking dude. And it's just like I should have just doubled down, shouldn't I? I should have doubled down at the beginning when I said, you know what I mean, like, yeah, because I was on the edge, but I was also, I was obviously like Hisoka's going to win it, but I was like, maybe I'm underestimating Go. I should have just said it's bloody Hisoka, and I should have known that's how it was going to play out. It was crazy the way the fight went, because it was so quick. It was almost like the fight beats that you would usually see with a shonen was almost multiplied in time. Like, they still had the moment of, Goto firing off his coins, Hisoka pulling out a surprise attack, which I love the fact that he was able to like spread it out like essentially like a shield. Because of course, like, we've only really, I suppose, well, aside from the time when he used it like in dodgeball, right? He obviously used it as like to be able to fit the whole dodgeball inside. But generally, they've been very thin, so to be able to see him like essentially spread the whole thing out like a sheet to catch like all of the coins in was crazy. So it, the fight turned, and then it immediately turned again when Goto was like, no, I had them in spin. So essentially I suppose like the velocity of the spin kept going within the bungee gum, that it actually turned the bungee gum, along with it, essentially because Hisoka's connected to it, basically twisted all of his arms up. And then immediately from that, like, Hisoka's just one step ahead again, and then it immediately turned again. And then, of course, it would just be the case of, like, Hisoka pointing out the 22 coins thing. I thought it was going to be... Well, I thought it was great because Goto pointed out, like, even if it's more than 22, I'll stop him. And I was like, oh, that's a great thing to yell out, because in my head, like, it would almost be like a perfect move for Hisoka Like something that Hisoka would do would be like calling out the exact like amount of coins that he actually has, so that the opponent is only thinking about 22 coins. I'll dodge 22 of them, but wait, there was one more, and he fucked with your mind that way, thinking there was only 22, and reality there was 23. So it's almost like he it was like he got us as well. Well, he got me anyway. He just comes down, fucking uses his cards, and I thought his fucking head was gonna come off because he was behind him, right? Oh man, bloody Goto, man. Sad times. But I don't know, what can you do? Hisoka, I mean, that's just Hisoka, right? Like, for so long, even though we know exactly what Hisoka's all about, like, he's so charismatic, like, it's hard not to just like him, right? And even going after, like, he helped us in Greed Island. In the arc before that, he was going up against what we considered like our villain at that point, which is Crollo and stuff. He was going against the Phantom Troop, so he's been helping us for so long that you almost put him on that like sort of good side, and if you don't, you kind of have him like as a character that you like throughout the show. And then so it was maybe in some capacity it was almost smart to kind of to use this as almost like a way to like just kind of remind you where he is, like who he is as a character. But yeah, man. Ugh. I don't know if they'll ever bring it up, like within the I guess Hisoka could. I guess when Hisoka eventually turns up again to see them or whatever, that he would, you'll probably mention it, and then the people will be pissed. Oh no, man. Oh, sad times. But anyway, moving on to something completely different. I don't. This show, man. Only you could go from Goto's death to Tsubone is a bike. I honestly don't think there has been a moment in this show that has been more ridiculous than that moment. Like Killua running away with Godspeed, being chased by a granny superbike. Like, what? It's fucking nuts, man. It's ridiculous. I don't know where Tsubone is then, because we didn't find out where she was. When they got to like the airport or whatnot. I mean, I know that she's been like hiding out of sight so that she's not next to Aluka and whatnot, but because of all the stuff that was going on, like Killua going away, they were supposed to obviously go away on different like blimps and whatnot. Canary did. It just makes me wonder how Tsubone would know what's going on, and what's she doing? Where is she? I don't know. I'm sure she'll crop up again at some point. I like the fact that Canary is still distracting, like, for Killua, even though she'll not, like, admit it. Like, it still, like, worked in the same way that Killua kind of wanted to, but it also worked in, like, that kind of vein of, Canary's still that way inclined, that she will sort of relieve herself of her own duties as a butler to the Zoldyck family for another member of the Zoldyck family being Killua. So, because obviously we had that whole thing with the Zoldyck, the little mini Zoldyck arc, like back after the Hunter exam, where like the similar thing happened. So I like that that's like still the continuity for that is still there. This caught me off guard. So Morel called Aluka brother. Now he would only say that, right? Surely he would only bring that up if Killua had referred to Aluka as his brother, right? Because Killua clearly calls her sister all the time. So why would he change that up now? I don't know. It's weird. It could just be the subtitles, but I don't know. It just caught me off guard, that one. But you know, whatever. So at this point, Killua is alone. You give out the information regarding Alucard and how, you know, the wish, like all the wish like stuff and everything like that. So that's just basically all out in the open now. And I love the fact that they actually sort of included the election story within this by getting people who are in the top 16 that would sort of surround the sort of ideology that they are sort of making this, you know, this new sort of reformed association called the anti-chairman faction. But, you know, getting those people's ideals to sort of help them out and almost force this sort of situation against Illumi so that Killua can, you know, essentially, like, legally take out Illumi is great. I love that. That's so fucking cool. That's so cool. It's such a great way to tie everything in, because yeah, you've had the election story and the Alucard story like sort of just one and the other, and it kind of just been going back and forth. But now with them sort of mixing in, you know, and mixing into one is great. So we've got Pterodine, who's the leader, Bushidora, who's been like the sort of, you know, the captain and leading all of the troops and all of that kind of stuff, and then Lupe, who's the second in command. Those three, very interesting. I feel like they're not going to last very long because this is just basically like, I mean, it's just open season now for Hisoka. I feel like it's just going to be just one of those things where Hisoka's just going to have a field day now. He's just going to be killing these people off, and you know, it's going to be easy for him. One of the guys was dressed like Pockle. I mean, why did you have to? Why? Why? Unless that character is somehow, like, I don't know, a part of like the same clan as what Pockle is. I don't know. A similar family member, but he looks exactly the same. He's dressed up exactly the same, I should say. He had that like sort of like, you know, like wrapped sort of turban type thing going on, right? And then he had the sort of the sort of robe type look. I'm sure like they were the same color as well. They were very similar anyway. So I don't know how to feel about that. It's like just bringing back memories. Honestly, it would surprise me if Togashi just did that on purpose, just to fucking bring that memory back, the bastard. But yeah. So they've basically come out in front of everyone and basically said that like every person that voted for Bushidora and Lupe just vote for Pterodine so that he gets to the top. So yeah, I feel like that is definitely an interesting sort of dynamic that will change the election to between Pariston and Pterodine at that point. But yeah, I mean, I would definitely rather have the anti-chairman faction, because it seems more diplomatic as opposed to one total guy like in charge of everything. You know, and I did say, like, you know, in the last episode that I'll actually like the look of Pterodine. I wasn't expecting that to actually come up. And with Lupe being on this side as well, that is another interesting thing, because remember last episode I was talking about how Lupe was the guy that was specifically like a hunter that searches for missing persons and does, like, that's his job and he's good at it. The fact that he's literally now, like, because I can see what will end up happening. Like, the election will essentially be Pariston and you know, Pterodine up at the top. Having Lupe on the opposite side to Pariston can make that, for that like sort of, you know, collision between the two, like really really juicy in a way, because Lupe can go around and, you know, look into the missing persons, like, and all that kind of stuff that apparently has something to do with Pariston. So you know, it's definitely interesting. I mean, but then it's just one of those things where, like, I don't know how long they'll last, put it that way. I feel like if anyone's going to go out first, it'll probably be Bushidora, seeing as he's the captain of the fucking, I don't know, the forces or whatever. He'll probably be out on the front line, like, at some point when a load of his people die and stuff, and and then it'll be like him against Hisoka or Lumi, and that won't end well. I mean, let's be honest. Like, if that ever does come to fruition, Bushidora's not winning against either of those two. It's just not happening, is it? So, yeah. I mean, that's that. But yeah, that's pretty much what I've got. Oh yeah. Well, I guess I don't really need to go into it because I had like an extra note, which was obviously the 4th Hunter commandment, which I don't think we've actually. If we went into the commandments, they would be way back. So if we have talked about those before, or if they have brought it up in the show before, then I definitely don't remember them. But they talked about the 4th one, which is obviously to do with the whole Illumi thing, that a hunter will not hunt down another hunter unless that hunter specifically has done some heinous act, which of course using civilians in that way is enough for that to happen. But I will like to learn the other commandments, and considering that, who was it? Was it Bushidora that was like, we should adhere to the 10 commandments, which obviously makes sense. That obviously the reason why he obviously lined himself with Pterodine and whatnot. That these commandments will be brought up again, I think. So yeah, it'll be interesting to definitely learn about all of those. But yeah, I mean, that's all I've got for this episode. So thank you for watching. In the description below, I have links to certain things. One of them is the Discord, so you can get yourself over there if you want. And I also have a Patreon page as well. So if you do want to support me on Patreon, that'd be very much appreciated. There is a bunch of different tiers and rewards depending on how much you want to support me with. So there's the early access tier, $5 a month. That gives you access to shows a week early, and you get I was doing 4 episodes of Hunter x Hunter every week, but obviously by the time this episode comes out, I'll have finished the show. So you can go over, become an early access tier patron, and get access to the rest of the show, the last 6 episodes right now. Or you can just wait 3 weeks and they'll all be out anyway. And there'll be another show that I'm doing right now that you can you can go get early access to, but that's for $5 a month. For $10 a month, you can get full length. That doesn't matter for this show, but for other shows, you will need that. And then for the top tiers, you can actually pay to have a show reacted to. So if you want me to react to a show, go have a look at those tiers and see what they offer. But that was all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.